Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to Football Discussions. Today, what we're going to be doing is redrafting the 2018 NFL Draft. What that means is we're going to be going through picks 1 through 32 and re-picking those picks based on how these players have fared in the NFL thus far. The draft order is what it was before the draft, not what it is or not what it was during the draft, draft day trades and all that. Those are reset. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with the number 1 overall pick, and that's going to be Lamar Jackson, the quarterback out of Louisville. Already your league MVP last year, is a beast on the ground, had a ton of amazing throws last year as well. People thought he should play wide receiver in the NFL, and he's already the league MVP. Cleveland needed a quarterback. They needed a quarterback since 2011, so getting their hands on Lamar Jackson back in 2018 would have been the dream scenario for them. Although I don't think the Browns would have utilized him the way the Ravens have, I still think it's just too hard to pass up on Jackson here at 1. At 2, the Giants did it right the first time by picking SAQUON Barkley out of Penn State. He is already one of the league's best running backs, so it's hard to pass up on him here at 2. At 3, I have the Jets going Josh Allen instead of Sam Darnold here. And that's mainly because Josh Allen, to me, is the better player. I think he is the second best quarterback to come out of this draft class. His cannon of an arm and his running ability makes him a really unique player. And I think his accuracy has only gotten better as time goes on. So I feel like if the Jets were in the scenario again, they would take Josh Allen. At 4, I have the Browns still going cornerback, but instead of Denzel Ward, I have them getting who, in my opinion, is the best cornerback out of this draft class, and that's Jaire Alexander out of Louisville. At 5, I have the Broncos going Quenton Nelson, the offensive guard out of Notre Dame. Nelson is a beast, probably one of the better guards in the NFL, if not the best guard in the NFL. So while Bradley CHUBB is a fantastic player, it's just too hard for the Broncos to pass up on Quenton Nelson here. At 6, the Colts are going to select Bradley CHUBB, who's right off the edge, was injured last year, but I still think has the ability to be a premier edge rusher in the NFL. So the Colts would not miss on this player. At 7, I have the Buccaneers going DERWIN James, the safety out of Florida State. James is probably one of the better players that come out of this draft class, has elite linebacker skills from that safety position, comes down, hits hard, tackles really well, and also is good in coverage as well. So I think getting DERWIN would be a fantastic player for the Bucs to get their hands on. At 8, I have the Bears going Denzel Ward, cornerback out of Ohio State. I think the Bears' highest need was Denzel Ward. They just didn't feel comfortable drafting a cornerback after Ward was off the board already in the real draft, and that's why they took ROQUAN Smith. But in this scenario, they're going to definitely not pass up on the chance of getting Ward. At 9, I have the 49ers going Courtland Sutton, wide receiver out of SMU. I already know this one's going to be controversial, but to me, Sutton has one of the highest upsides in this draft class, has already proved to be a terrific wide receiver. I think is only going to get better as time goes on. And I think the 49ers, who have been searching for a number 1 wide receiver, would be happy to get Courtland Sutton here at 9. At 10, the Raiders are going Darius Leonard out of South Carolina State. The Raiders have been longing for an interior linebacker for a very long time. They finally got one in 2020 with Corey Littleton in free agency, but I feel like if they got Darius Leonard back in 2018 at this 10 spot, it would have been a terrific pick. Leonard has already had a fantastic NFL career. At 11, I have the Dolphins going Minkah Fitzpatrick, the safety out of Alabama. Minkah did get traded by the Dolphins earlier this year to the Steelers, but at the same time, I feel like they did it right. There's not a better player on the board available than Minkah, and the Dolphins needed a safety at the time, so it makes sense for them to get him here at 11. At 12, I have the Bills getting their quarterback out of the future, and that's going to be Baker Mayfield. You could argue that Sam Darnold's the better player than Baker Mayfield, but to me, I think Baker just had a down year in that Freddie Kitchen system, and I think he'll bounce back next year. And I feel like if he was in Sean McDermott's system from the start in Buffalo, he would flourish. So I like that pick a lot for the Bills. At 13, I have the Packers getting Mike McGlinchey here, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. McGlinchey has already flourished into one of the better offensive tackles in the NFL today, and it would be an amazing pick for the Packers if they were able to get him here. At 14, I have the Redskins going Fred Warner, the linebacker out of BYU. Warner had a breakout season on the 49ers last year, and the Redskins would love his presence up the middle if they got him on their team. At 15, I have the Cardinals getting their quarterback of the future. They're not going to whiff this time with the Rosen pick. They're going to get Sam Darnold, who obviously struggled last year due to his mono, but I think he still proved that he was capable of being a franchise quarterback, and the Cardinals would not miss this opportunity in the 2018 draft. At At the 16 spot, I have the Ravens getting Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker of Boise State. We all know C.J. Mosley would depart the following season. So if they were able to get their hands on Leighton Vander Esch and replace him just like that, it would make the Ravens' life a lot easier. Glitched out there for a second. At 17, I have the Los Angeles Chargers going Frank Ragnow, the interior offensive lineman out of Arkansas. I love what Ragnow has brought to the table for the Lions in the NFL, and I'm sure the Chargers would love to get a piece of that if they were able to. At 18, I have the Seahawks going to Ron Payne, the defensive tackle out of Alabama. Payne has proven to be a force up the middle, a really game wrecker from that defensive tackle spot. So I think that the Seahawks would love to get their hands on him, and he would be a great fit in their system anyway. At 19, I have the Cowboys getting Roquan Smith, the linebacker out of UGA. Roquan was picked at 8 in the real draft, but I think that a few of these linebackers have proven to be a little better than him, but regardless, still a talented player. So the Cowboys don't get Leighton Vander Esch here, but they're still able to get their hands on Roquan. At 20, I have the Lions going Nick Chubb, running back out of Georgia. The Lions would go on to get Kerryon Johnson later in the draft, but to me, Chubb has proven to be one of the better running backs in the NFL today. So why miss on him when you can get him here at 20 if you're the Lions? At 21, I have the Bengals going Braden Smith, the offensive lineman out of Auburn. I believe Braden Smith played guard at Auburn, but then the Colts switched him to tackle, which if the Bengals did that, then there would be a set at that tackle spot where they're still struggling today. Obviously, they went with Billy Price, and we all know how that worked out. It hasn't been the best pick for the Bengals, so if they were able to get Braden Smith, I think it would be a solid fit for them. At 22, I have the Bills going Justin Reid. This would make their secondary elite, getting Tre'Davious White, Justin Reid, their safeties. It would be a solid secondary in Buffalo. At 23, I have the Patriots going Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker out of Virginia Tech. Edmonds had a sloppy rookie season in Buffalo, in my opinion, but really flourished and became a really good linebacker in the NFL last year, being the leader of that Bills defense. So I think he would be even better in that Patriots defensive scheme. So it would be a solid fit for the Pats. At 24, I have the Panthers taking DJ Moore. They did it right the first time. DJ Moore has been one of the better Panther wide receivers we've seen in recent years since Steve Smith, and he got a 1,000-yard season last year, and I think that number will only go up. And then he'll also have a capable quarterback throwing it to him as well, because he had Kyle Allen and Will Grier throwing it to him at the end of the season. So once he has Teddy throwing it to him, I think he will get even better. So it was a solid pick for the Panthers. At 25, I have the Titans getting Harold Landry. They got him in the second round in real life. Here I have them getting him in the first round. Really good edge rusher so far throughout his career. A guy that not a lot of people know about, but I think he's going to become a premier edge rusher as time goes on. At 26, I think it glitched again. Yeah, it did. 26, I have the Falcons going Vita Vea, interior defensive lineman out of Washington. A great run stopper up the middle, can really do it all. He got picked at 13 or 12 in real life, drops a little here, but is still definitely worth a first-round pick. And I think that the Falcons, who are still looking for help along their interior defensive line, would love to get Vea on their squad. At 27, I have the Saints going Mark Andrews. They need a tight end. They needed a tight end for a while now, and paired Drew Brees with Mark Andrews would make Mark Andrews even better than he already is, in my opinion. At 28, I have the Steelers going UCHENNA NWOSU, the edge rusher out of USC. Pairing UCHENNA NWOSU with TJ Watt would make this for an elite young edge rusher duo in Pittsburgh. 29, I have the Jaguars going Will Hernandez, the guard out of UTEP. Will Hernandez has had a solid NFL career so far, and I think he was definitely worth the first-round pick. Fell to the second round to the Giants, but if the Jaguars were able to get their hands on him here, it'd be a solid fit for them. At 30, I have the Vikings going Isaiah Wynn, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. Wynn has had a injury-riddled career, but I think if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a good tackle in this league. At 31, I have the Patriots going Jesse Bates, safety out of Wake Forest. Bates was taken in the late second round, but I feel like the Patriots would love to get their hands on him in the first round. At 32, the Eagles are going to go Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver out of Alabama. Ridley has already had a terrific career with the Falcons, and if you paired him up with Carson Wentz and made him a true number one wide receiver, then I think he and Carson would light it up, and the Eagles would finally get that dynamic receiver that they've been looking for. So that's going to do it for today's redraft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more redrafts, let me know in the comments. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more NFL draft content. Take it easy, guys. Peace.